I ain't gonna lie, I've been pretty nervous, setting this up and just reaching out to. Honestly, I just reached out to people who inspired me. People who inspired me, but also creatives that I look up to. I look up to what both of y'all are doing, and so I'm grateful that you two can be up here. And if you guys just want to introduce yourself and who you are.
She gonna make me do it first. All right. I am Tim Wilson, owner and operator of Urban Lights Music in St. Paul. Been there a lot of years.
1993, right?
Yes, 1993. Yes, dollar and a dream. And feel like we've been a staple in the area, and I feel like I've accomplished some of my goal, which was to be a light in the community for a number of people over these years. So, yeah, it's me.
Fresh. My name is Tish Jones. I am a poet, MC, organizer, and founder and executive director of True Art Speaks. True Art Speaks is an arts and culture organization. We've been around since 2006.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, a question for you. I'm gonna start off with you, Tish. So before you started True Art Speaks, how did that come about? Like, were you just an artist, or were you just active in the community, or what motivated you to start True Art Speaks?
I think the question, like answering those questions, is always about where you start. If I start in the middle, which was like the year that it started, it was a convergence of three things. So in 2006, I worked with an organization that did not, in my opinion, know how to engage with young artists. We were still in the phenomena of a budding youth arts movement. It was like the height of like deaf poetry going on tour, and younger artists being the plug. And I was an active poet at that time, and they asked me to catalog all of the murders that took place in North Minneapolis. And there was no resources for my mental health or wellness after doing that. And in cataloging those murders, they also asked me to go read poetry at the vigils where those individuals were murdered. Reading poetry at the vigils where those individuals were murdered meant sometimes that I was standing on, near, or next to the place where an individual lost their life. In that year, we had the third highest murder rate per capita in the country by August. There were over 46 murders in Minneapolis alone at that time, which, when you talk per capita, that's a lot in a city, you feel me, to get that high. So there was that as a particular event, right, as one of the three things. Then there was, I had been traveling nationally and internationally doing the art thing, the hip-hop thing. So I'm a poet and an MC. And I had been doing that for a few years. So there was that, seeing the ways that young people's stories were aligning with mine in this place. So, vibing with some cats in a cypher in Leeds, coming back here, we're all talking about, some similar things, right? Stories are aligning, violence, pushing back against folks being exploited as young artists, trying to navigate the terrain on our own, being entrepreneurs, hustlers, that whole thing. And then participating in 2005, so the year before, coming off of B Girl B, which was the first international summit of women in hip hop. So the convergence of those three things in 2006, it was this bubble. It was like, okay, in the Twin Cities at that time, it felt as though there weren't a lot of adult artists or leaders in the community who had enough capacity to engage with hungry young arts entrepreneurs in a healthy and safe way, right? So there was a void that I saw, and I'm like, okay, how do I fill that? What does that look like? In addition, there was a lot of trauma and there was a lot of pain in our community. People were losing their lives. A few of the brothers that were murdered that year were my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? So I'm standing, you know what I mean? Just dealing with that. And I'm the granddaughter of a Black Panther, so I believe I'm also here for a certain purpose. So it was like, how do I use all of this energy right now at this moment? Everything I came up with, the culture started, hip hop I'm referring to, started within a social justice movement, resistance movement, anti-policing movement. So I'm like, how do I wield the axe as an artist to also still bring about change for myself and my community and other people who look like me and my demographic at that time, which was a young person. I started my organization when I was 18 years old. So that's how it started, if I start in the middle.
Can we give it up for that, man? Just give it up for that. I just want to say, like, I'm somebody who, I have a history of starting something and then putting it down over and over again. And what you guys have created, you guys have longevity in that. I'm just curious to know, like, what motivates you guys to keep on going and not just say, you know what, after this, I don't want to do this anymore, and just, stop what you've created. You know what I mean? For you, it was, 1993, and then for you, it was 2006. That's a while. That's quite a while. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just curious to know for both of you guys.
I think at the end of the day, it's just my love for music. I was telling Tish earlier, the payoff for me, because financially I could do a lot of other things, but owning a business, representing the community, and be in a place where I have people come to me and say, man, remember me? Yeah, I remember you was this tall. Man, I used to come in with my mom, my dad, they used to buy records, and I used to see you behind the counter all the time, and that inspired me. Man, I just graduated from college, bro. I just opened up my own business. I just did, I did this, that. That's the payoff for me. So why I put the key in the door every morning is that, and the love for music.
I love Black people. I'm just gonna keep doing Black shit.
That's it. It's Black History Month still. I love that answer.
I think they call that period.
I love that answer. And then, so, Tim, you know us, me and Kobe, we've been, able to host the Urban Lights open mic, for the past year. And I remember we came to you, because again, it's incredible that, Tish, you were able to start, True Art Speaks off of, just the, what's going on in the community and how that's moving you and seeing a void. For me and Kobe, we seen a void of there wasn't a space for artists to express themselves. Me, I'm more of a, poet at the time, and I kind of just started a little bit with music. Kobe is an artist himself. We came to you, Tim, and proposed that idea to have the Urban Lights open mic, because not only was it inspiring to be in your record store, but it was like, okay, this would be a perfect space and a safe space where people can come, connect, network, but also, showcase their talent. And I wanted to ask you, just from seeing over the years, how do you feel that this culture has shifted over time with music and culture, and how it's directly correlated with the community? Like how important do you think that is today?
Earlier today I heard somebody say music mends problems, situations. I always look at music as the great communicator, if no one else is. It brings people together who probably shouldn't be together or can't stand each other, whether races, men, women, children. Music just has a way of kind of evening things out, and I've been in some weird situations where music was like the only reason everyone was in the room together, that type of thing, and I think that's always a great thing. And it's kind of the glue, I feel like, that holds a lot of things together. We come from a very rich tradition of music in this city that maybe a lot of people don't recognize or give enough credit to. But I grew up running around Paisley Park, running around Flight Time. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a different era of my OGs. Like, I was pulling from them. Like, I just wanted to be in the atmosphere, you know, whether I did anything or not. I just wanted to be in the room to just soak up. Me and Prince had some really cool conversations, you know, that I'll always hold forever. Just about life, past music. You know, music is the easy thing. We can find singers and rappers. That's a dime a dozen every day. But it's the opportunities, relationships, and conversations, things like that you can have that strengthen community. And we was talking about that earlier. Like, it's at a good point, but it could be better. You know, the last couple of years have been crazy, and when you guys came to me, one of the things I sat back, I maybe had one of those Kobe moments that he said, why am I doing this? But COVID, if it did nothing else, put me in a space where I was like, I have to reach more people with what my space is. And I feel like the space inspires. You know, if you haven't had a chance to go, you should. I just have people come and sit and write songs in there. I have people come and just say, can I just sit in the back and just vibe? I'm trying to write a poem. I'm trying to write this, that, story, whatever. So it's open to everybody to do that. So when you guys came to me, I just made a conscious effort to say, I'm going to get with the young creatives in the city, and we're going to open this thing up, and we're going to give people the opportunity to express themselves creatively, where they might not have an opportunity to somewhere. I'm going to just open the doors, and that's what we're finna do from now on, and hopefully that inspiration will inspire them, but at me, at the same time, it keeps me inspired, because I see the cats that come through the door that it's so much talent around here on a bunch of different levels, and so getting back to community, I think, that's what Urban Lights is.
Yeah, I love it. And going back to you, Tish, I know that it's funny because the first time like 2017, I had a really bad, breakdown, and I went to poetry and music as like my coping mechanism, and I started collecting records. And so that's where I discovered, Urban Lights music, through Kevin, your nephew. But then I've been to one of your open mics that you hosted. I think this was at Golden Time? Yeah, and the way that you had your space and how intimate it was and how people were very vulnerable with their poetry was very inspiring. And if you can just kind of talk about, just your open mic, but this space and the other programs you have involved with True Art Speaks, and how you operate them and your goal and intent with them.
Yeah, so, there's many answers to one question. So, like, the open mic part. The open mic has been around, so it's a weekly open mic. It's been around for 10 years, perhaps 11. After a while, you start to, lose count. 10 or 11 years, at a minimum 10, at a maximum 11. What year is this? It's 2022? This would be the 12th year. We started in 2010. All right. So this is the 12th year. It's a weekly open mic. It's on hiatus right now because we're taking it back to Hallie Q. Brown, which is where it was pre-pandemic. But the open mic from the beginning is set up to be a dialogical space. What happens a lot, specifically when we think about folks who are bringing in new music or whatever form of art, cats do their thing, and people don't often get to engage with them, right? So I'm an educator and an organizer, and like that's stuff I've invested in. So like taking classes and trainings and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a youth worker. So when folks, whatever the age or whatever, they come in the spot and they're sharing work, there are certain tools that I've trained my staff and other artists who are a part of our team to know how to do well, to facilitate a space where you know, somebody's not walking out feeling smarter than the person next to them, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we're all in this shared experience. How do we talk about this shared experience, you know what I'm saying? And if we're talking about art, we're not talking about it in, you know, a quantitative manner. We're talking about it in a qualitative manner. And when I say qualitative, I'm talking about, like, you know, the quality of this shared experience that we're having, not the quality of the art. You feel me? Because quality of art is subjective. You feel me? So, like, how do we experience something together and make it, you know, as fly as possible while engaging with art? And for us, that's like busting it down so also people can learn about some shit. Because, you know, if you're an MC and you do your thing, the way other people hear your stuff, like, there are some MCs I know that don't count bars. They don't know how to count bars, right? There are some MCs who are true storytellers, right? And they're just telling the story and they're doing their thing. And then the other motherfucker was like, yo, son, that was 48 bars. Like, you just off the dome. And they're like, what? So when you talk about stuff like that, though, when you open up the space to be in conversation, the person in the audience or the person on the mic who doesn't count bars, they're just telling the story, they can connect with that person and learn how to count bars, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, understand, like, oh, shit, that was a bar? Like, yo, that line right there, your first line, like, you know, they might say 20 words or whatever. And they're like, no, that's like 5 bars. I was actually only talking about the first 6 words you said, but I get it. Anyway, when you have conversation about a thing, you bust down the hierarchy, you bust down, like, who's doper than who. And we've built this open mic space where people feel comfortable doing that. And not only that, man, like, we built the open mic space where people took ownership of it. Mimsy, I think I found out you were my cousin at that open mic. Let's start there. Like, with, like, what it means to be in the hood and working that way, right? Like, I put the connection together. But, like, our open mic is such a community-owned space where there have been times where the people who we hired to host, like, man, they had an emergency situation come up, but people like Mims or people like Hassani, they were there, and they're like, shit, we know where the equipment is. They bust the equipment out, set up the space, holler at the owners, run the open mic, call me later. Like, hey, so-and-so got into a car accident. They didn't slide, but we did the damn thing, and everything is righteous. I holler at the owners, and it's good. That's also, like, just to nod to the way you do your thing. Like, to me, fam, it's not even just to allow people to come into your space and write. That's the culture to me. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many other music stores in this community. You can't go write in their music stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? There's, you know, whatever, even in the sections of the shit. Like, you could, you know, you can't go to the music section and write in the section or play the poof and just sit there and do the, but they you know, but they use our culture anyway. So our shit is about hip-hop culture. I'm getting into, like, the sort of pedagogy of my shit, but our organization at large beyond the program is about hip-hop culture. And the culture, again, for me, is rooted in social justice-based movements, right? Like, hip-hop started on some anti-policing shit. So I don't like the fact that we're in Minneapolis and every 6 months a black man is killed. And I understand, like, the power that we have as artists and organizers and the lineage that we come from to speak to that shit. And that we're in this moment that doesn't look different from 1973, you know? The gentrification that's happening, that's hip-hop. I'm gonna talk about the land bridge. I hate the land bridge in St. Paul. I'm gonna just say that on record. I hate that shit. I think it's a terrible idea, but that's not unlike hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Some, you know, obnoxious millions of dollars coming through a neighborhood, tearing that shit apart, saying that it's for people, for economic prosperity. It's not a wealth building opportunity for our people, but it's in our hood. And they're using our story and blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of other people are making a bunch of money off of it. There's so many opportunities. So anyway, my organization is looking at that. Like, what are the lessons we can learn from the culture? Who are the practitioners of the culture? Who moves the culture forward? And, like, damn, like, how come we don't know that we are the culture? Like, looking at motherfuckers in here making their own shit, that's the culture. That's fucking hip-hop. We've been doing that for forever. Like, we tell the story of what we're going through in the threads that we wear. We make language, dog. Like, we do. The fact that Kanye West started his own fucking streaming platform and made $2.2 million in, like, a matter of hours, it's like, we drive this shit. If we would just drive this shit. So for me, my organization is looking at that. Like, how much game can we give our people, young people, all the people, through the arts, through culture, towards a true practice of liberation, right? We have a multi-ethnic approach to how we do that. That's what we do.
I just wanted to encourage like anybody who's like an artist or anybody who just wants to be involved in the community to, you know, find the time to attend their open mics, you know, just being a part of, you know, just the music history, like the history here in, you know, in the Twin Cities. And I'm a firm believer in like just putting yourself out there and not just sitting behind the phone and the computer and just, you know, being an artist and then just being a part of the social media aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are really good at that, but don't put themselves out there. So I'm just encouraging, you know, artists to, you know, just really step outside and be outside, you know, be a part of the scene. That's all.
Can I plug a couple events? Since you said that, I think it's perfect. So look, every quarter we host an event called Sunday Dinner. It's a black space. If you're not black, we do other things that you can come to. But every quarter, every fourth Sunday, February, May, August, November, it's a virtual convening for black people where we break bread. We might cater a meal, have it sent to your crib, you know what I'm saying, give you a DoorDash gift certificate or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Some gift certificates you can order your own food, but whatever. But we come together and we talk about the state of black people, the state of our people, and what we can do. Last year, every Sunday dinner was about getting us together to talk about what we need and then creating, you know, being a part of a coalition that created a report to give that to policymakers. That was great. They know what we want, they know what we need, let's see what they do with it. This year, it's all about getting us together to talk about the resources we have and what we can do with what we got right now. So the first Sunday dinner of this year is this Sunday. Go to my website, well, the organization's website, go to our website, and register for the thing. It's free, come through, we're gonna be chopping it up. We're honoring Black History Month, so we're like asking y'all to cook your meal, something that somebody passed on to you. We're gonna showcase the meals, have a good time, talk, and kick off every other whoop-de-whoop. The August version, the Kennedy Center is gonna be here, they're gonna film it, whoop-de-whoop, it's gonna be a great thing. Another event we have coming up is called Level Up. Level Up is a monthly professional development series for artists, organizers, and community leaders. So there's gonna be workshops on grant writing. There's gonna be workshops on how to make your art for the movement. There's gonna be Q&As with entrepreneurs from the community. So pick your poison, come to the thing that fits you. It's a sliding scale workshop. You can come for free or you can pay $25. It's your choice. It's for you. It's also virtual because of COVID. We wanna keep you safe. Final thing that I'll say, we have a program called In My Element. If you are a hip-hop practitioner and you want to invest in yourself, you're between the ages of 18 to 24, you want to learn how to DJ Kool Hakeem is teaching cats how to DJ. You want to learn how to MC, the lead facilitator is B. Croc. You want to learn how to do some aerosol art, we got Joy Speaker. So just plug in, trueartspeaks.org, no E in the word true.
Yo, thank you, Tish. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then last question, this is for you, Tim. I know you've been doing, I think, just some DJ workshops in the youth. I think it was with Minneapolis Park Board, but I think you're working with the school board now. If you could just talk about that a little bit and kind of, how that's been going and what that experience has been like for you.
Well, as I said, just kind of opening up the space to be more of a creative space. We just did something with Humboldt High School students a couple weeks ago where they came in to the space, and we do a DJ event every Saturday called Faders Up, which is a lot of the top DJs in the city offering advice to up-and-coming DJs, MCs, producers, etc. So we brought the kids in and actually spent the day teaching them how to DJ. So piggyback on that, summertime, I'm going to introduce a different program it's going to be a little bit bigger, but will also encompass that type of teaching for kids. But in the meantime, as Vlad had mentioned, so all last year, pre-pandemic and during the pandemic, we had an agreement with the Minneapolis Parks and Recreation, and we built a studio in Powderhorn Park to teach kids to the recording process, the writing process, the engineering, all those things. Never in hopes of looking for the next big rapper, singer, etc., but looking for that child that is not the athlete, that is not maybe the scholar, but is looking to, loves music, can grasp, say, engineering, for instance, and introduce them to a world where they could go work at the Minneapolis Convention Center, US Bank Stadium, Target Field as a audio engineer making a great six-figure income. There's other ways to make money in music that have nothing to do with the actual music process itself. So that's what our curriculum is, very organic curriculum. We deal with each student on a one-to-one basis and find what their goals are, what their likes are, and then we take it from there. No longer at the Park Board. Now we have partnered with the Minneapolis Public Schools, so we're located in the KBM building on the north side right now, and we just started 2 weeks ago. So if you know any young people who are interested in the world of music and learning the business of music, that is the place for them. It's free, and we do it every Tuesday and Thursday from the hours, I believe it's like 5 to 8:30, something like that. So, yeah, that's what's up.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love how both of you, really make, anybody y'all come across feel welcome. If it's just seeing y'all in person and meeting them, or if it's going to one of your spaces, you guys have made me personally in my lifetime feel comfortable in the spaces that you provided. But I know other people feel that same way, and just know, I hope y'all keep doing what y'all doing. It's been, like almost 30 years for you, and it's almost, almost 20 years for you in a few years. So beautiful. So if y'all could just leave.
Hey, can I ask them a question real quick? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just want to ask them a question because it kind of relates to what Tony Ladon was talking about in terms of consistency being his most favorite word. And, when you're talking about the amount of time that you guys have put into all of this, consistency has been the key. But that's not to say that there haven't been some difficulties and some obstacles that come along with that. So I think it's important to understand, as artists and as entrepreneurs, how did you guys deal with the obstacles and difficulties that come along whilst trying to stay consistent, either outside of your field or just in your world in general that might, hit some stumbles in pursuit of what it is that you're trying to accomplish?
I mean, I think consistency is a good word. You just can't quit, Anything worth having does not come easy. So it requires a lot of work and sacrifice. And honestly, if you're not prepared to do that, then there's probably other things that you should do, I always say everybody wants to run a business until they have one. So, it's a lot going on with that every day, for real. But you just can't quit, like I said, anything worth having is worth working hard for, and a dream is a dream, and a dream should never go away. A dream, should always continue to be a part of your life, and you got to just chase it until you decide that it's no longer attainable.
I think study is really important. You know what I mean? Like, you being dope isn't good enough. I think you gotta learn some other aspects of your craft or your field or whatever it is. I'll also say find your tribe. That's the most important thing. Like, we never, to your point of, we never tried to be, the biggest anything in this community. We just tried to be dope and useful in this community, and like stick to caring about young people and black people and artists. That's what we was on. So I think we've had fewer bumps in the road because we ain't been trying to like do anything other than care for our people. And in order to care for our people, we had to know who our people were. So find your tribe. That's the most important thing. We didn't start getting big recognition until now. Like, we just got a $500,000 award that we didn't apply for, but that's because we're in the community. Like, we're in the village. So we got a gift to help us sustain ourselves because of what we've been doing for 16 years, not because we did anything to get it, you know what I mean, other than what we do. So find your tribe. And vision. That's the last thing I'll say, those three things. Study, find your tribe, and vision. Vision past the end of the day. I think as people who come from oppressive situations, deal with trauma, have marginalized, compounded marginalized identities, sometimes, I know for me, I didn't think I was gonna live to see past 24. Once I got past that, I started to be able to vision, 28 and 30 and all of that stuff. And I feel like if you don't have a vision, you're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, I'm gonna drop this next album and it's gonna be great. But, then what? You know what I'm saying? So, you gotta actually have a vision. Like, what is your goal? And work to get there. And the study you're doing should get you there. And the tribe you're building should also get you there. And consistency, yeah. But, all of that, goes together, to me.
I love it. So for the both of you, where can the people follow you and keep up to date with what y'all got going on, your organization, and just your personal pages if you want to let them know?
True Art Speaks is at True Art Speaks on all social media, the website, and all of that as well. TruartSpeaks, no E in the word true. Personally, Tish Jones, also on all social media platforms, TheTishJones. I'm gonna be honest, I rarely reply to DMs. I definitely never reply to a Facebook message. If you Facebook message me, I don't have the app, G, I'm not responding to you. Send me an email, blood, it's right on the Instagram thing. I got and I'll get at you, I promise. I'm being honest. People be like, I hit you up 2 years ago. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. I love you though. I really do. I love black people.
I love Tish. He's just
I want to talk
real.
to you. Just don't DM me.
That's what's up.
Leave a comment. I'll hit you back in the comments.
Tish gonna open up her Facebook Messenger like T-Pain opened his IG DMs.
It's just like that, bruh. I be like, dang, I didn't even know. 5 years ago, blood.
I don't even know how to use my messenger.
It's just a different age. We're old, bro.
Just call me.
You know what I mean?
I'm at Urban Lights every day, behind the counter from 11 to 6.
Bruh.
Just come through.
That man said he in the yellow pages.
Call the shop, G.
That man said look him up in the yellow pages.
Hey,
We don't got yellow pages no more, Tim.
Yeah, don't call that one.
add me on Twitter for sure. Anyway,
Yeah.
where you at?
Everything is at the Urban Light. So you can catch me there or you can catch me at the spot. So that's what it is.
Yeah, man, we in the hood too. Just pull up, you know what I mean? Pull up on me, say you saw me. That's the other thing, G. Just be like, hey, fam, I saw you at them. Be like, oh, word.
That's it.
Yo, give it up for Tish and Tim. Yo, appreciate y'all just coming through to sit down. Now we're gonna close it out with, I guess I call you Tony Ladon, and then Savvy Play. They're gonna perform their song "Handle My Set."
Pursue it, I'm next. Handle my set, I'm breaking them necks like MK11, I'll put you to rest. I swear y'all be talking and fronting and walking for nothing. Y'all looking to trying to finesse. No, I'm pushing for this growth, cause I don't sell it for the less. Like graduation on my mind, just like that Kanye from the West. Straight up the lows, future PA, got him hitting them souls. Blessed every day, I flex out the roads. Battle in the game where they cheat off the codes. Here we go. Wanna make it happen, time to make the change. And you gotta build gates just to build them gates. When you look to the window, you can view the way, like all the way. The city Billy Holiday. Yeah, I'm building the best. Ain't no time for the talking and walking, I'm running the checks. Here we go. Straight up the flesh. Yeah. I was born to progress. Woo. Yeah, I'm leading this movement. We gotta do it. Raise them hands up. Head on my set. Hey. Head on my set. Hey. Head on my set. Head on my set. Head on my set. Hey. Hands. Come on. Hey. Head on my set. It's like play. Time to see you later, like Shotty, here comes the player.
None of my biz, I do it all for the kids. I do it so they can live. If I was legit, I had to make it legit. I had to make it real big. I had to learn. Niggas ain't waiting your turn. One of them you gotta earn. Gotta be thinking long term. Leave it with no more concerns. Stick to your price, they burn. People gonna leave, you gotta stick to yourself. Don't worry about what others do and chase your goals and your wealth. Build your foundation one by one, you can't be skipping no steps. So when you standing on the top, you not gonna fall like the rest. Head on my set. Head on my set. Head on my set. Get this head on my set. So head on my set. Hey. Head on my set. What? I come in the red. Come in the red. Handle my set, do it the best. Tone the dime, second playing, y'all. Hey.
Handle my set.
Hey, man, appreciate all y'all, man. I know y'all all handling y'all set, because if everybody handle their set, that's why y'all here.
Everything. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having us. Again, all this black energy, all of it. It's amazing, and it keeps us going. Again, 1 month is never enough. It's every single day that we tell our stories. Do you hear me? Clap it up, y'all. Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up.